Welcome back to Smokey Mountain Logging for episode 5 with me, MrSealyp. It is now 6:17 in the morning, and as has become apparent through that very little quick montage through the night, I have moved over to Devil's Canyon. I have purchased another Gen's HE700 static wood chipper seller, and I've been quite busy. I wanted to make sure at midnight I didn't get clobbered too heavily on fees, leasing costs, so I did enough wood chipping down at Lumber Point 2 by the lake at Fireweed Lake to purchase my own Scorpion King, which I have now done. I haven't got the tracked one, got the normal one. It was just cheaper, 317,000. I then continued on wood chipping away like a lunatic, so I'm now up to 353,839, which is nice. I have also, and again this is another one of those, I don't want people thinking, oh yeah, whatever, you've obviously just skipped time and cheated. So if we look down at trees cut down, 277 trees. I have been busy, I haven't just made it up, I haven't just added money in. 277 trees so far. And when I turn around and have a look at the area which was once Devil's Canyon, get into the track so that we can zoom out a little bit. As you can see, it's yeah, quite a bit different. Turn the engine off. The trees kind of came right up to the edge of this dark area when I first started, and I had to clear that little bit of patch out the way so I could turn my vehicles around when I used the other wood chipper. I've done all the trees around here. I've done some of the trees that were up here on the rocky outcrops by climbing up and cutting them. I've done a lot of the deadfall. I've gone back a fair way. Now, there is a lot further to go back here, but I have been busy and I have made a bit of money. It's taken time, but not too much time. It's actually been okay. Now, I'm going to whiz back over to the main, let's say the main area, because there's something I want to show you. It's, again, if you're doing it already, it's kind of obvious, but I just thought I'd show you anyway. I don't know why I'm going that way, probably need to get into a tractor. Be there in a minute. On the whole, what I did find was the silver birch type trees all around Lumber Point 2 were, generally speaking, smaller, and there were the odd large ones knocking about, but up at Devil's Canyon most of the trees there were much larger with the odd small ones thrown in, so it was more productive selling there. That's why I kind of moved. I have still got the wood chipper sitting at Lumber Point 2, the static one, which I can sell at some point. I got rid of the wheel loader, just returned it because I didn't want to get clobbered for the leasing cost overnight, and at some point when I've got enough money I will probably buy it back. I did also, I had a go at, I did a save game and removed these ramps and tried to move this over. It was not having it, didn't want to know. This is as far over as I could get it to work. I'm not too sure why, one of those things, maybe it's just PS4, I really don't know for definite, but that's as far over as I could get it. That is the wheel loader fork, and obviously that's the one for the telehandler. So that I think I'd purchased. I didn't lease that, so that's still sitting there waiting for me to buy the wheel loader back again. The other thing, this is one of those where you find out that people are fallible, where you find out that people can and do make mistakes, and yeah, anyway, least said the better. The lovely big BSM semi tipper. I had a comment left when I was doing the wood chipping to say, why do you keep using the grain door? It's taking forever. And obviously the grain door is this little bit here, there. You can see the hinges there. So it was opening this little bit here and it was taking quite a while. So I thought, I didn't know I had it set on grain door, so I hooked it up and checked it, and it was on grain door. As soon as I set it on the other setting, the whole back opened, and it just, you know. Since this mod came out, on everything I've done, quite clearly, I've only been using the grain door. I cannot believe, I just, in my head, assumed standard would be a standard tip. I never adjusted it, I never changed it, it was always like that. So there you go. So now I should be able to tip far, far quicker, I hope. So there we go. That's yeah. I won't talk about that again. Too embarrassing. So here's the thing. There are quite a few of these deadfalls all around the map, all over the place, which add all that extra charm and character. There's one just over there poking out. And on one of the episodes I did use the Scorpion King and get the actual header kind of tipped over and cut the tree and pick it up out the ground. That was also mentioned to me by Fragdad, and he sent me a message, and I'd literally recorded that about an hour before he messaged me to say you can do this, which is already done. But anyway, when you've cut them down by hand, and sometimes you're left with these bits sticking into the ground, what I've started doing is, if I come right to the end, make sure the head's turned like that, and kneel down, if I can get right over to the edge, as far over until you get the blue line disappear, which is about, oh, it's going to still go, there, and then cut, so I'm crouched and cutting. Probably won't work now. What has been happening is, as you get through the tree, it pops up out of the ground. There we go. So I've now got a log out of the ground completely, which means you've got no pesky bits sticking up. I'm assuming if you wanted to plough this out, I don't think there'd be anything left in the ground. I'm not 100% certain on that. You might end up hitting something, but it looks to me pretty much like it's gone. So then it's just a case of picking it up and getting rid of the log. Although I have had a bit of a problem with a couple of these, picking them up. That one looks like it's going to be okay. So, take that off to the sell point, get rid of that. And then I'm going to move on to what I'm intending to do in this particular episode. Now, as you can see, is that log moving? Oh no, I don't know. There we go. That's that sorted. Now, I've cut down 277 trees already. That's a fair few. And there's this amazing quote. I say amazing. It popped up on the social networks a while ago, and it was this: imagine if trees gave free Wi-Fi. We'd all be planting them like crazy. It's a pity they only give us the oxygen we breathe. And you know what? That is a fair point. In that there are certain things in life that seem to be far more important at the moment than the things that really are important. And I've cut down 277 trees. And there are a lot of different companies out there at the moment which are doing various different things to replenish the trees that are being cut down, which is really, really important. And I found a couple actually of quite, well, it's another one of those, you know, you watch my videos, you know, you get gameplay and all the rest of it, but you know, you get facts and some interesting stuff that I like to chuck in there. There's a company in America called Woodchuck USA, and they're based in Minneapolis, and they make custom wood products. They started making iPhone cases and various different things all out of wood, which is fascinating. It's amazing stuff. But they've got a policy of buy one, plant one. So you think, okay, buy one, plant one. That's interesting. What does it actually mean? So I delved a little bit deeper. For every tree they cut down, they make about 3,000 products, roughly, out of one tree. For every product they sell, they plant a tree. So they're going to plant 3,000 trees for every tree they cut down. That's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. I'm not going to be able to do 3,000 trees for every tree I've cut down. I've done 277 so far. That's a lot of trees. By comparison, in the UK, we've got a company, and they make velvet tissues, tissue paper and toilet rolls. And they do a 3-tree promise. For every tree they cut down, they plant 3 more. Now apparently, according to that, and I wasn't sure, the industry standard is that for every softwood tree you cut down, you have to plant 3 trees. For every hardwood tree you cut down, you only have to replace 1. They do 3 for 3 regardless. 3 for 1 regardless. So for every tree they cut down, they'll do 3 regardless. And so far they've planted around 9 million trees worldwide, just through making and producing and selling tissues and toilet roll, toilet paper. It's not on the 3,000 for 1 scale. However, I would imagine that Woodchuck USA is probably a smaller company, but regardless, that's still pretty good. So there are a lot of companies out there doing it. So the point being then that in this episode I am going to do a bit of planting, and I'll be honest, it's not entirely selfless, and you'll understand why. It depends how you want to work in your production. Now, it's under forestry, and I think it's the Damcon. The Damcon PL-75 is our tree planter, so I'm going to need one of those. Now, do I lease or do I buy? So if I do keep doing this, I'm probably going to need it, aren't I? Let's buy it. I'm going to buy the Damcon. Why not? But then what we're also going to need are pallets. And we need pallets of poplar. No, we don't. We don't want poplar saplings. We want saplings. So we're going to be planting saplings. The good thing about these is they'll all be standard. They'll all be a set size. Once they've grown to their full size, they'll all be pretty much identical, which is kind of what you're looking for. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of trees on this map to log, but we've got to replace them, so we might as well crack on and get some replaced. I'm going to start with probably 20 per pallet. I'm going to start with, let's go with 10 pallets. That'll give me 200. Won't have completely replaced what I've done, but 1, 2, 3, so on. I might have done one more than I meant to, but it doesn't matter. So, stuck in the building again. We've got our Damcon tree planter. And we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I slightly miscounted. Not to worry. I need to get the tractor over here. Let's get some trees planted. So let's hook this up. As far as I recall, it's L3. There we go. Drive up next to a pallet, press L3, and it will load you up. what I am going to do is this entire section along here that I've cleared, I'm going to plant trees. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap this end here because I need to be able to get in and out. But I'm going to start pretty close, I think, to the edge, right here. Hopefully keep them relatively straight. As I recall, turn it on, drop it down, and away we go. That's the first sapling in the ground. They will be coming out regularly spaced. I've just got to try and keep fairly straight if I can. Not the end of the world if I don't. But as you can see, at 3 miles an hour, planting 200 trees is going to take a while. So, what I'm going to do now is carry on a little bit and then I'll skip ahead and see how we get on. Can I get the last couple off before I get to the end of here? Come on, one more. That's it, pallet's done. Lift that up. That was pretty close. So I've got 20 along that strip. Backwards and forwards with pallets. Now the problem I have got is I don't want to put them too close together, but also I don't want to put them exactly in line, which is going to prove slightly more difficult. So what I will do, if I can, just come across a little bit, turn it on, drop it down, and hopefully first one will come out, and they should be alternate now, so as you can probably see, as the saplings go past, it should put one in between the ones that are already there. Probably do with coming a little bit closer actually in my rows, but never mind. So this is it. This is the 11th box of 20. So that's 220 trees that will be planted by the end of this box. We are making oxygen. That's new. That's new for giants. We should do that. You can do all different crops, all different seeds. This is oxygen farming. This is an oxygen farm. Obviously, it would get a bit boring if all you spent the whole time doing was just planting trees. But like I said, it's a means to an end. This is going to mean that in a period of time, these will all be fully grown and they'll be right here, which will make it much, much easier. While they are growing, I can go out into the wild yonder and log and wood chip and all the things I need to do. Because obviously, even if I sped time up, which I would need to do to get these to full maturity ready for logging, every time I went past 24 hours I'd get clobbered for leasing costs and vehicle repair costs and everything else. No animal fees, which is quite nice. So I would need to keep logging just to avoid losing a load of money on those kind of fees. I did start a bit further back this time as well, because I left myself enough space to get vehicles in and out of my vehicle shelter. And thinking about it, I might move that vehicle shelter anyway. I might put it more central in that whole kind of hard pan area. So these aren't going as far. And as you've noticed, there's a bit of a jink around the boulder, so I sort of carried on as I did that anyway. And when I got to the end here, there's a boulder directly ahead. So when I got to that one, those two rows, I turned sharp right, which means now that every subsequent row has had to turn a little bit at the end. So it will all balance out. $219. 220. Let's raise that up. Turn it off. And that is 220 saplings planted. I'm trying not to drive through any. So now we play a waiting game. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long. And will I speed up time? Probably, just to get these to a point where I can kind of... I mean, it's obvious what they're going to look like, but just to show you, you know. While I'm doing that, I will carry on logging, wood chipping, to keep the money up, and then we'll see how we go from there. And like I said, this is only going to be probably one more episode after this, I would imagine. I've used the equipment I need to use. I've got my mojo back. I've got back into a rhythm, using the static wood chippers, using the Scorpion King, the JCB. I need to buy one of those actually, because that's going to cost me money actually. So what I'll probably do is get rid of that, buy my own one. I've got enough money for doing my wood chipping. This I own. The large trailer over there I own. I will need a wheel loader at some point. I was hoping for some more mods this week. Maybe there'll be a new mod trailer out, logging trailer. There are various cranes and different things available. There's a much smaller wood chipper, the Hyzo Mat one, but that's only for tiny, it's like small trees. And realistically, that's logging, wood chipping. It's all there, and it becomes, like I say, quite a repetitive process. But I wanted to give it a go. I wanted to try out some different equipment. So we'll see how we get on with this. Right, I need to go back to my tractor actually. I wandered away from it and left it sitting there. But yeah, row upon row. 220. I'm not quite sure how long this is supposed to take. It's been over 24 hours and nothing. Not a thing. Anyway, my money has gone down. There is a reason, because I didn't want to get clobbered for fees, so I purchased the... What did I purchase? The IT runner, that was what I purchased. The IT runner base and the wood container I purchased. For the base unit it was 55,000 and the actual wood container was only 9,000, so you could buy a few of those and have those dotted about. It's the base unit that's most important and the most expensive part of that whole unit. Plus I purchased the skid steer, and I went with the wheeled one. I've used the track one, I've used it a few times in different Let's Plays. I thought I'd go old school. The wheeled one was on the JCB pack on FS15, might have been on 13 and previous, I don't know, but so I got the wheeled one and the stump grinder, so they're all purchased. Everything now I own, I've got nothing leased. So when it went past the first midnight, I think I lost about 4,000 in loan interest and vehicle maintenance fees. So cutting down one big tree will cover my costs every midnight. What I'm going to do is turn the speed up. I'm going to go off to Devil's Canyon, do a bit more wood chipping, and we'll see how long it takes for these trees to grow, because it's, like I say, it's been 24 hours and there's nothing. So I'll see you back here in many days, I would imagine. You watch, as soon as I drive away they'll start to grow, won't they? Be typical. I've moved the vehicle shelter as well. That was the only place that would let me place it for some reason. I could have probably moved it a bit further this way, but sort of right slap bang in the middle of everything. Several days later, and it was several days later, they're now fully grown and all pretty uniform, all pretty identical. 220 trees ready for wood chipping, lumber, logging, whatever you want to call it. That will be in the next episode. I did pay off the loan because I just felt, well, I was paying every time it went through the 24 hours. At midnight I was getting clobbered for interest payments. I say clobbered, it was 480 or something. Not a huge amount of money, but I got rid of that, so that wasn't a problem. So the loan's paid off. I carried on wood chipping over at Devil's Canyon, and I'm up to 209,000 now. I have bought something else, but that's for the next episode as well, because it suddenly dawned on me I've forgotten to use a piece of equipment. So that'll be for the next episode, where I'll be using some of these. I'll be doing a bit of wood chipping, I will do some logging, all in the next one, which will probably be the last episode. Thinking about it, I have got to, where are we? Trees cut down, 348. So it's gone up a bit. I did a few while these trees were growing. They did take a while. If you are going to do this, yeah, you'll need to speed up time, but find yourself something else to do. Either carry on doing wood chipping and other logging, or go and make yourself a cup of tea and have some lunch, because they will take a while. But that's it from me on this episode. I hope you found it interesting or informative. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share the video, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.